Hello, this is Lisalee, and we're going to do pick a card reading today. I've been feeling this like something's close, something's around the corner sort of a feeling. And so I thought we would do a what's on the horizon. Like what are you, actually, you know, it's like something even more than that. What do you not see coming that is on its way? Yeah, that's what it is. So we've got 3 piles here. Oh, nice. That's going to be an interesting choice. Bottom of the deck energy is vessel, and I'm showing the bottom of the deck energy because if the bottom of the deck energy appeals to you most, it's probably like all 3. Otherwise, we've got pile number 1, which is the thread, pile number 2, which is the kiss, and then pile number 3, which is the venom. And these piles are each, the question we're asking is like, what do you not see coming? So let's get started. Okay, pile number 1, for those of you that chose the thread, I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle your cards. Okay, pile number 1. That was quite a shuffle. I know that went on for a while, but I was sort of mentally processing everything as it came through. And this is quite a story. I'm just trying to gauge if the piano is too loud over there in the corner. I'm in a new room today because there's like a heat wave happening right now. And this is the one room with air conditioning in it. So this is where we're doing it. Chains of scenery. So what I'm seeing here is with the thread, I can't help but think about this as being some tie that you can't get rid of, and I actually am feeling a weird pain. It's the strangest thing. It's somebody will get this, and I don't know who, but if my upper left, what is that, like chest boob above my boob? I guess it feels like someone's pulling a piece of floss like through a hole. Like that's really weird imagery, and that's very strange that that's what's coming through. But there's some like almost like an attachment to the heart or a string from the heart. So I'm seeing this as being something that is attached to the heart and with this rainbow, like some other time, there's like something to do with like I'm seeing the rainbow as being like the symbol, biblical symbol of like once the flood has sort of finished flooding, that God looks out and says like, sorry, like I won't do that again. And so there's this feeling of like, you know, before some tragedy, something is connecting right here. So this is talking about, you know, what you don't see coming around the corner is like there's somebody who's connected to you at like a level that's sort of eerie, I would even suggest. And this I can feel this tug. So there's something about this like tug on this string. And with the 5 of Pentacles and the Justice card here, it is sort of like where you're sort of starting the story. And you're coming out as the Empress, which is, so it's like 5 of Pentacles, Empress here. This is an incredible distance. It's almost like I can hear this energy. I actually hear it's like this energy is almost saying like you are the Empress and you've been treated like this 5 of Pentacles. And the Justice card here, and I'm seeing the 11 for some reason, like the 11 is standing out to me here. You know, the Justice card here speaks about like that there has been an injustice. And so like, you know, being like an Empress, like in this 5 of Pentacles position, like there's something here about like this change coming for you, like coming to, like quickly actually for you. I want to just see what that's about though. Well, it's right here. I pulled like more cards, but there's been a lot of confusion about you that is about to clear up with this Magician card. With the 7 of Cups being about options and about illusions. There's some bit of clarity coming in. Let me just see what this is. And like my body is like, I'm like burping. And whenever that happens, I know. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles wants to show its head again. So there's this question about you. Let me see what that question is. Yeah, 3rd house perception. Yeah, so this card, this perception card here. I wonder if it's bright enough in here. Probably not. Let's see if I can get you some more light. This is one of these things where I should always like do this before I start. 1000% I should. Is that better? Yeah, I think it sort of is. So with this Seven of Cups and this Magician card here, something that had previously been, like, I would say that this almost feels like, this is weird. Let me just get a couple more cards on this before I launch in. Because there's this misunderstood quality to it. Okay, Eight of Cups, Three of Wands. Yeah, something that you walked away from is swinging back around. You're uniquely prepared. Oh, okay. So I'm being shown, like, Spirit is saying it's like the opposite of the Wizard of Oz. With the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy gets all the way to Oz, and, you know, the wizard is just this person, this guy behind a curtain. This is the opposite. It would be as if, like, Dorothy got all the way to the Wizard of Oz, and it was like, actually, like, this is a wizard. So there's this something that you walked away from that is like now flipping back around towards you, that something had been previously obscured about you related to this Magician card, and this perception change, yeah, this perception change is what's bringing some level of justice. And that the Wheel of Fortune, demonstrate, realize, act like a leader in the Sun card, like this Wheel of Fortune is like in the category of clarity. Something of clarity comes to with the Six of Swords. This thing of clarity, it might entail a move, but it can also entail like a calmer space within you about whatever it is that, like, is coming up in the way. Like, this is one of these aha moments where you're like, oh my gosh, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So with the Six of Swords, you know, moving you into a calmer space, something that you're going to see that you can't unsee is going to get you out of, like, one way of being in the world and push you into a new way of being in the world. And that's what we're seeing here in terms of, like, well, what's coming right around the corner? Like, what are you not seeing? There's a change in perception about you where there had previously been injustice. There's some justice coming in. With the Queen of Pentacles, the Judgment card, and the 11th house, yeah, you know, especially with this Temperance card. Now, I'm very curious about this Temperance card, because when I look at, like, who are the people who are involved in this, like, you're coming up as that Empress. Temperance, is also an energy that is around you. Now, this is energy that's super balanced, like very balanced, sort healed. I gotta look at that in a second. So with the Queen of Pentacles here, and the Judgment card, this Judgment does put you into, like, it establishes you, it puts you into that right position. So there's an adjustment that needs to be made here. Let me just have some water. It's like, yeah, we've got the King of Coins on the bottom of the deck over as being some, so there's one main person in this King of Coins energy right here that that all of this is in relationship to. And so whoever this Temperance is, oh, I think I know who that Temperance is. Let me just look at it, because I think I, like, caught a glimpse of something and I wanna like zero in. But yeah, Judgment is here too. So this Judgment here, this speaks of, like, something being decided not from within you. Something being decided external to you is going to have an impact on you, and there's a change in the way that you're perceived here. Now, with the Queen of Pentacles, the Judgment card, and the 11th house, friendship, group creativity, community, humanity, hope, tribe, festivals, discoveries, common goals, startups, rebellion, experimentation, the future. You've previously established yourself in some way that is going to, like, this Judgment about you, it puts you into the position that you should be in. With this Queen of Coins energy here, as, like, this is interesting because we've got a Queen of Coins here and we've got a Queen of Coins here. This is really this is sort of talking about, like, you and your social positioning and your status, or, you know, like, even just your foundation. So there's a like, this, whatever this Judgment is, it impacts that. With this Queen of Coins energy, I'm not really sure that's like an interesting, that energy's foggy to me. I'm not really sure why. I'll pull cards on whatever that is in a second, but this is going to happen very, very quickly. So what's coming around the curve is a change in perspective about you from other people. It's coming in really, really quickly, and I just want to see what it is, right? So with this Justice card coming out again, justice, we're talking about it where you've been done dirty, like injustice, like flip justice, right? Like, so we're seeing that change here. And I would imagine that whatever that injustice was left you like pretty tied up. This is quite an Eight of Swords. This isn't just like Eight of Swords. This is Eight of Swords is like, most of the time with the Eight of Swords, she can walk out. There's a space where she can get up and she can walk out, and there's a space here, but this is somebody who's so tied up that their arms, their legs, like everything is just tied up. And so this injustice for you is something that kind of like absolutely somehow imprisons you, like either internally or externally. There's something about you being held in place. And so this plan here, Two of Wands is about planning, moving forward, you know. You've been really strong. I think there's a lot of clarity about, so the change that's coming in terms of the clarity about you and that shift in judgment about who you are is all around sort of like just kind of seeing you clearly in terms of whatever that injustice that positioned you in this way. With the Strength card and the Sun card, it's, yeah, the strength of seeing this clearly, of seeing you clearly. And then in the 12th house of surrender, I think this is what you did. You know, I think that because of the way that you, Spirit is showing me somebody who, the only thing that really mattered to them was proving God's goodness, and like almost like to prove God's goodness and to prove that God exists for the same thing to this person. And when it couldn't have been like, and like when that person, when either you or this other, I can't, the energy is like very, there's some twinning or something like that, because the energy's it's shifty. It's like there's like a they kind of like the energies kind of swim together and then apart. Like there's I don't know how to explain it. But there's this way in which Spirit is saying you have had to surrender, and like you actually didn't have to, but you chose to surrender everything to prove a point about the goodness of God that exists, and you didn't prove it. you couldn't prove it. It was impossible to prove it, because, and I mean, I think that's like that might have been your major like growth arc or something, or maybe a huge pivot point for you. Or if this is somebody else, like there's some kind of, surrender to belief. Let me just look at that for a second. So Spirit is saying like somebody's going to have to surrender to belief, and you already surrendered to your own belief. And that entails like, and so like you surrendering to your own belief means that there's this surrender into belief. And so this Queen of Coins, whoever this is, I'll look in a second, but I want to look right now. What am I saying? In a second. Let's look right now. I want to see who this Queen of Coins is. So the thing you don't see coming right around the corner is there is a judgment being made about you. You know that phrase people are like, your voice is, or your name is being spoken in rooms where, it's like, I saw it on TikTok like 5 times. It was something that like came up a bunch of times. Like, it's like a common enough phrase about like your name is being spoken in rooms that, well, you're not in, but there's some significance to it. And if I could get the phrase, I'm just like hearing the first part. Spirit's not giving me the full. I just want to see who this Queen of like Coins is and what we're looking at with her. Queen of Coins, who are you? 3 of Swords, Knight of Swords, the Empress, and the Queen of Cups. With the Hierophant. This might be somebody, this could be somebody's wife. But why would the Heartbreak and the Knight of Swords be here? There's some heartbreak and taking action, or action being taken in response to some like level of heartbreak. The Hierophant is speaking of, oh, okay. So I'm listening to your guides. I'm being interrupted because I'm wrong. So your guide's saying that this is actually having a lot more to do with like institutions, government structures. And so there's somebody who has a similarly broken heart that you have, that is taking action, and related to, like, with this Empress here and this Queen of Cups, in relationship to what you have to offer, like by way of your emotional intelligence and your intuition. And so there's some twist over here. There does seem to be, like, okay, with the Star, there's like being held in high acclaim, and it's flipping. Why did that just flip? I gotta look at this. I'm gonna use the word prompts. I wrote like a bunch of these, like totally like stream of consciousness. Where is the Star card in reverse? So the Star card's usually about healing in a way that leaves you in good social, like in a heightened social standing somehow, like, you know, elevates you, healing that elevates you. And it also can be wishes. There's a heartless quality to neglecting yourself in terms of isolation. You have such a big heart. I need you to love you. Well, this is what we're going to look at, because this is going to be something to work on right now. But with the World card and the Magician being about, again, there's some major travel or a brand new chapter in your life. And the Magician card here coming up twice. There's this thing with the Moon, the King of Swords, and the Sad Squirrel, which, like, that's a mystery. So I'm going to put everything away, and we're going to focus for the rest of the reading. We're going to kind of focus on why the Star is in reverse and what's going on with this, like, Sad Squirrel energy here. Judgment. See, with the Hierophant, this could be a court thing. Not gonna lie. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles, like with this stuff is coming out, like positioning. There's some status-y thing here, which I'm surprised to see, but you would have a better understanding of what that means than I'm able to sort of glean at this point. So let me see the Star in reverse. Like, it's almost like it wants to move. So it's almost like it's not in a fixed position. Let me see what this is about. And then we'll take a look and see what that is about. Over here. And now there's something about you with the Neptune and the dreams, like Spirit is just coming through to be like, you're dreamy. You're super dreamy. So Spirit wants you to know that you are super dreamy. I don't know why we're talking about this, but I think it's because the Star is in reverse, that we're going to do, like, you need a little confidence right now. Spirit is almost saying this in a way that's like, excuse you, you're needing some confidence. There's some, my heart hurts. I'll be honest with you. There's something about that. There's a lot of grief. I feel grief pain, actually. Let's see what this is about. Your confidence is affected. No, we will not have that, because we have the Sun right here. And this is all about you being seen, like, I want to say the first time, in a really beautiful way. I think that it's been hard to see you for some reason. I keep on, I'm almost saying like someone's like the great reveal, the reveal. You are the revelation. So, and especially in Aries here, your willpower, what you think about you, do it your way. Why? Let's look at the Star here in terms of, like, this is what's blocking, or not blocking. I would say that this, like, needs to change to accommodate the outcome. Like, this feeling state, or this way of being, needs to change in order to accommodate this outcome. So I think it has, this is another person. This isn't you. I want to pull cards. This is probably this Temperance energy, maybe. Yeah, okay. So I want to see why you've got your Star feeling upside down. What's that about? There's some Wow, these cards are, did you see that? I don't think you can even see the way that these are jumping. I'm gonna put these back in because there's a million here, but like that was, every once in a while cards will kind of feel like they'll come alive with me and I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you running? Okay. Tell me about the star card and why it's upside down. I'm gonna pull a couple of cards. Spirit's kind of showing me like, so this is the perfect time to bring in some oracle cards as well. Eight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Four of Swords, the Hermit. Ah, I see. Three of Pentacles. Okay, so my sweet one is, and I feel like that's Spirit saying that because you worked so effing freaking hard, oh my God, for so little, and it hurt you so much and left you kind of hiding. And so now there's this thing that's coming back around. I'm seeing like the pyramid that requires, I don't know if it requires, but it requires a level of vitality and stamina, and you just feel like, I cannot. I do not have it in me. Because I'm feeling for you like just incredible strain and like incredible heartbreak and like heaviness in the heart area. That's why I want to look at some oracle cards for you, because it's almost like you have, like I'm seeing the Nine of Wands, so I'm surprised it's not here, but I'm seeing the Nine of Wands, and it's like you have like a more door and back, you know, and so it's like you're about to be at this position where it's like the last leg of the race, or like the end of the journey, and you're like, I'm fucking tired. You're like, I don't even care. I'm glad we're here, but like I'm exhausted. Good, you know, like, so you have this deadness of spirit in your, like, it's like your heart, but I would say like right under, like, solar plexus kind of an area. Like it's a fatigue, it's heavy, it's dense, and it's like a deadness. And so like, let's take a look at that, because we want to sort of prop you back up again. Because there's something that's like pulling you back in. And I'll look at that again. I mean, you know, the sort of the quick answer is like, you know, what you can expect that you're not expecting is a change in how you perceive yourself to be perceived, because a lot of this stuff has been like, you know, you perceive the worst. Spirit is like, I'm not laughing. I don't mean that it's funny. Yeah. But Spirit is basically saying like the way, like, you know, for all of your intuitive gifts, the way that you perceive yourself is like really fearful. Not fearful, but like fearful of others perceiving you. Like it's we need like deep breaths. Like let's do like, we gotta like, let's stretch out like I feel like we need to stretch your chest. There's something about the chest here needing like to be stretched or something. So, or your heart chakra, or like something about your heart needing to be able to open up again with the law of attraction, evolution, and Pisces. Yes, you are definitely bringing in, like there's this attention that's coming towards you, and you've had this incredible evolution. You're going to be fine. This is really just like, you know, it's almost like you just feel very tired and very fatigued, because you worked really, really hard, and you have been in this hermit position. So there's this part of you that is just like underexposed socially as well, which makes it hard for you to shift it. Like, yeah, this is the reading for the group of people that are about to sort of like step into a limelight of some kind. I can't really tell how or why, but some kind of a limelight. And like that limelight, they're like, I'm not ready. Like, I've just been like going through it. Like I stopped going to like the gym for a minute because, you know, depression, you know what I mean? Like whatever it ends up being for you specifically, like that star on its side, it just means like that's so let's see what Spirit wants to say for you to do about that, because there's some link here. I want to see a little bit about what's going on. So like keep your inner vision on, you win something, you know what I mean? Like your inner vision should be like that you, are having some level of success. So, sorry, I just got really thrown. Spirit is saying body image. And I'm like, you want me to talk about that? I guess I will talk about it because it's coming up as, like, actually kind of choked me up for a minute. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, I felt it like somebody hit me. Like where I was like, whoa, why did like the idea of, it was like violent, like body image, like almost like getting hit. So there's something about the way that you perceive yourself, that's part of this star here, is like change your inner vision, how you see yourself. Oh, right. Okay. So like okay. So you have done all of this healing, done all of this growing. You have all of this power. You have tremendous, you know, you have so much to offer the world. It's insane. You need to change your inner vision on how you see yourself. And I want to address this strain because I'm in your energy, so I'm feeling this strain. And this is the kind of strain that, like, if I was feeling it by myself, I'd be like, well, I really need to reach out. So let me see what this is. This is the wrong deck. Okay, let's do this one. I gotta see what this, it's really, my heart hurts right now. I'm just gonna stretch. I'm stretching your heart too. Let's just do it together. Holy crap. I want you to do some breathing exercises where you actually breathe some air into your heart space. Like I want you just to consciously like really just breathe air into that heart, just to try and open it up a little bit, because it's literally like, it's I see a flinch. It's flinchy, it's tight, it's balled up on itself. Defensive, protective, yeah, definitely. Okay, let's see what we can get. All, risk, wait, kindred spirits. Okay, so you've been totally uprooted and you've been like spaceman detached from the spacecraft, feeling like really isolated. This is loneliness fatigue that I'm feeling in you. That's what it is. So the loneliness fatigue is really, you know, you've you gave it all, you risked it all, and then you had to, and now you really kind of have to like wait to be in alignment with those kindred spirits, because you are indeed uprooted. Let me get the answer on this, because I don't want to move into the last part of your reading until I have something on like, how can we alleviate some of this like heart ouch. I like changed my whole office space, so I don't have all my cards out here. No, I have limited decks. Okay, that's Spirit saying use this one. So yeah, what does Spirit want to tell you about this? Because it seems like that's what the strain in your heart and your chest is. And so like, what should you really do about this? Self-care is like a Spirit saying, like, you know, some people don't even know what that means. So let's get a little bit on that and see if we can get some healing your way. Definitely breathe into your heart space, and also breathe into like dense emotions. Like when you almost get like when you're about to panic, Spirit says like, when you're about to panic, stop, take a deep breath. Obviously, like there's something about having to like seek silence. Okay. Yeah. When you're about to panic, stop, seek silence. In that silence, feel where it's dense, where energy, where emotions feel heavy, dense, immovable, and like breathe air into them. Like visualize breathing air into them. There's something very important about you doing that right now. Especially if you're not used to it, just do it anyway. You're going to be like, wow, that does something. And that'll be your proof. You don't have to like get a survey and have everybody agree. I don't know why this is coming through. It's almost contentious. So you may have a be like in this beginning sort of like phase of not everybody, but some of you are in a phase of spirituality or phasing up in your spirituality where like there's almost like a confrontational energy due to the growth. And this is like voices in your head being like, this is not supposed to, this can't be, you know? So yeah, this is about taking care. I'm trying to be a responsible person so I can better take care of myself and the people I love. And you have siren eyes, and your vibe is like a drug. I'm addicted to it. So with this bottom of the deck being, you revealed spiritual things to me that put me in ontological shock. It is empowering me to dare greatly. I think this is about, this is the healing for you is going to be like incremental. You're going to have to work at what it means. Like taking care of yourself is the prime objective right now. You have this beautiful bevy of qualities that should be out in the world in a way that is like, I'm seeing like Leo moon, or Leo sun. I don't know. I'm just like seeing that big, like, gargarious. Is that a word? Just something like that. But with your like you have an incredible personality. Like there's all these really, really good qualities. So what you're having here in the way of like this extended hermit kind of a period, and needing to reconnect, and some of what you're suffering from is that disconnect. You're easy to love. That's what Spirit is saying. You're like super easy to love. So like it's going to be a little bit of an incremental process, but as you sort of every time you approach, Spirit is going to make that a reward for you. And you can sort of, wait, I gotta sneeze. So this is like definitely, if I'm sneezing in the middle of your reading, for sure that advice is important. All right, so I want to see this energy with the moon, the King of Swords, and the sad squirrel, and temperance, because I'm not really sure what that's about. And it's sticking into your reading like a sore thumb. So we're gonna go like a little longer than I wanted to, but that's okay. I just want to kind of see like, why is this here? Like, what's the point? And who is it? Temperance. Okay, so this temperance energy, this person's a lot more balanced than they've ever been before. They've leveled up, and you've had a lot to do with it. So like someone saying in your spirit team, like, mission accomplished, my friend. With soul time and the solar plexus chakra, this is what I was just talking to you about. So we're just kind of like getting your perception, you know, what it means for your perception to change around the star energy has a lot to do with like giving yourself the soul time that you need and not cursing it. That's like Spirit is like, yeah, like somebody's, one of your spirit guides is a little scoldy, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like not cursing the time that you are spending, not like out there in the world right now, because again, like Spirit is showing me somebody who is just wounded from like head to toe, and you are in this, you might feel like you've been in the healing process forever, but Spirit is saying like, no, you've been in the surviving process forever, with a dash of healing mixed in. And that's not the same as like the healing process that you are stepping in. You need this soul time in order to have this healing around your solar, your power. Like what it means for you to hold power, be in power, be a powerful person. And this perception card here is about, this is all, you are powerful. That's what Spirit's saying. Like you already are that powerful person. And you already are that magician with like the ability to sort of make anything of anything. You just are uprooted with the uprooted card, especially this uprooted card in reverse is usually reverse. It'll be nuance or it'll be like the opposite meaning, but this is telling me that you're hella uprooted, not just like a little bit uprooted, like, oh my God, what happened? Uprooted. So let's just look at this for a second. Let's get some advice for you on that. Yeah, and I'm still here with this temperance energy. So this King of Swords can be a court decision, or it could be somebody who, but I think that this King of Swords with the moon card here, there's something that we're not supposed to know, but like, I want to see what this is in a second. So before we go there, let me just get a little bit more advice for you on this soul time and the solar plexus chakra. A personal issue needs resolution. Oh, okay. So you're very close to achieving your goal. Okay, but you're being given exactly what I was just talking about when I was like, oh my God, like my chest, like, ow, my heart, like what's going on? You're going to have the time to heal from that. You're going to have the time to heal, to get yourself strong. Like Spirit is giving that to you right now. That's what you're doing right now. That's why it's feeling the way it is. And you're processing and you're doing, and the progress is there. You're confused about the progress because it's Spirit showing me like dizzying pain. So dizzying pain will always confuse you about your progress. This is the way that is. So what Spirit is going to have you do is sort of allow this healing process to take place with this personal issue coming to resolution. I'm going to get some cards real fast. So this Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. It's happening soon. It is. But you are going to have the time to get yourself together. That's for sure. And that's sort of like what this reading says. Like what you don't know that is around the corner for you is there's been a perception shift, or there's about to be a perception shift about you. Beyond that, there's more. And the Spirit is saying, and you're going to have the time to get to the beyond that. And so like, what do you not see coming? This perception shift about you, and that there's something here. I'm going to skip the cards on it. There is going to be something significant that we don't really see right now. Yeah. 10 of Wands, 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 6 of Cups. So this is from your past, Hierophant. Okay, this is someone from your past. You may have been married to this person in your past. This may have been, like with the King of Swords and the Hierophant, this might be, again, institution, something with court. Competition with that 5 of Wands, and the 5 of Cups is grief. So something from the past that it's a huge toll. 10 of Wands is like something that like left you at a breaking point, or just constantly at a breaking point. I don't know why so this is another energy. This is an energy around you that's probably, you're going to probably have to contend with the situation. I'm being shown the 3 of Pentacles. Like, why is this Temperance energy here? For what purpose? What does pile number 1 need to know about them? What do we got here? Because this seems to be in the challenge position for you. This is very much like a challenge, like some kind of a Queen of Swords and the 10 of Cups. It might be a previous relationship that you were in, and the Knight of Swords, action being taken on. So somebody might be very much like hoping that this, whatever this is, turns into some kind of an outcome for them, that brings in some kind of, oh gosh, this is a little bit of a weird twist, and I wasn't going to go long with this, but now I think I have to go for a little while longer. You are somebody's happily ever after. And I think something about this ends up being a happily ever after, but you aren't. There's a sad squirrel here, because I don't think that you end up in that position. No, you don't. Let me just get some cards. There's action being taken towards you in this regard, and I think that that's... So there's something about this. Okay, so change in perspective about you. You're held in better regard. And then there's the side thing here that I'm not able to get a perfect fix on, but it seems to be like an additional area of your life, an additional arena in your life, and another person in your life, where there's something coming back around to be dealt with, where there's unfinished business, where there's expectations on this person's part of you that are maybe going to be a challenge for you to deal with the 10 of Wands again, the Hanged Man, the Page of Wands, the Emperor, and the 5 of Wands. There's some kind of competition here. So there's some competition here with the 6 of Cups again. This is people from the past. And I'm so tempted to elaborate on that, but Spirit is telling me, like, if you feel like you're at a cliffhanger right now, then go to parts, like literally think of this reading as being extended and go to the next section, because the energy is so potent. Potent's the wrong word, but sometimes, I think always, my piles bleed. I wish that they weren't and that they didn't, but I think that to some extent, like, you know, we like, these collectives are, again, we're a school of fish. We're moving in this, you know, but there's all different things happening. And so the nuance from pile to pile should change, but there's something building here that I can only describe as me trying to catch a train. and so there's like a coaxing forward, but I think that, like, where we are in this first part of, like, you know, if you pick the thread and you're like, I'm just the thread, I know exactly what this is, this applies specifically to my situation, I totally get it, then you don't need to do part 2 or 3. But if you're like, this all applies except I'm not sure, then let's go to the, group 2, 3, because I think that that's going to be where your questions are, like, more acutely answered, because the only thing we're getting with pile number 1 is that there's a huge perception change on you, and it brings in justice for you. Opportunity, I mean, there's a lot going on here, but and that you'll be healed enough to take this on, even though it seems overwhelming from the unhealed position that you're in. This seems really overwhelming. From the healed position that you're going to be given, or that you're working your way towards, or that you're very much I'm seeing en route, like on the road, you're there, you're en route. All of that is looking very good, but it hinges, or it connects to, or there's something to do with this other energy as being like a part of the story, or an addendum to the story, or like a sidecar to the story, about whatever this perception change for you is. So pile number 1, I'm going to leave you there, because with the bottom of the deck here being that your perception is, there's a perception change about you, but your perception change about yourself is part of this healing. You're very close to your achieving your goal. You're going to get there as soon as you're strong enough to be there. That spirit is absolutely being, I'm hearing more tender and gracious with you about your pacing in a way that you can't even imagine. So don't stress your pacing. Your pacing's good. So pile number 1, that is for you, and I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, pile number 2, those of you that picked the kiss. Let's go ahead and get your cards. Okay, pile number 2. This is fascinating. So, I'm perplexed with your pile a little bit because, with the kiss, my expectation was that this would have something to do with intimacy, or like between two people, or some kind of like a love story. There's a lot of people here. There's like a lot of people in the mix with you, which is fascinating to me. So one of the things that you don't see coming around, like what's like right around the corner that you don't see, is a lot of attention. So let me just start with the Moon card and the Emperor here. This is, I love this for you. So you're coming through like the star, very much so. Like this is that energy that you're in. And so you, and I love there's something like really innocent here too. There's a quality to this image that I'm sort of locking onto, but it's kind of hard to get a good fix on it. But there's something here about you. Well, your healing process is everyone's healing process, and there's something there. With the Moon card and the Emperor, though, like you have no idea how much, I want to say like how much control over the situation you actually have. This is, oh, okay, so that's the energy that I couldn't get that, or it was like impossible for me to sort of like pinpoint it, but, and it's going to sound like a negative thing, but so like the word's going to sound negative, but it's positive. So what I'm feeling is this sense of oblivion. It's a sense of oblivion. So there's this feeling of oblivion here. It's not striking me as negative. It's striking me as like almost like an innocence quality. So there's this you're oblivious to how much control you actually have had or have over a situation, and you are. There's something really interesting about there's like your healing is yeah, unique or something. All right, I'll come back to that in a second because I can't really see totally clear. With this Knight of Wands and this 8 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles, though, this has been so what you don't see right around the corner, because I feel like it's quick, or maybe it's like you're feeling this like almost like competitive energy, or like what's that, or like why do I, like these weird, there's intrusive thoughts that have been there's something contentious there. But basically what we're seeing here is like, so what you don't see is there's this almost like a well, let me just keep going. So with this 8 of Cups and this 5 of Pentacles position being how you have felt the last, I would say it would have been 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Like it's something like it's a cluster of years. Because I'm seeing the 5 of Pentacles here. It's not quite 8, but because I'm really feeling this as being something that you walked away from such emotional investment, and with the 5 of Pentacles, like to a degree that really left you on the outside looking in. But more so than that, with the Knight of Wands, is there's been like a number of false starts where you felt like you've been in some kind of false starts. And with the Knight of, yeah, so this Knight of Wands is this feeling of like not having been able to like properly like have started in life somehow. So this Moon card and this Emperor card being like you have no idea how far you've actually come. This is what your felt experience has been. False starts, left out in the cold, walking away from emotional investment in something that was a lot of emotional investment. And unbeknownst to you, there's been like spirit showing me that your spirit team and your destiny, because we've got the North Node destiny card right here, your destiny, like everything's sort of like very established, very like working behind the scenes. 8 of Pentacles, the Lovers, and 10 of Swords. Now this is an interesting aspect of what you don't see happening, like spirit keeps on saying very soon, like that's an interesting thing that's coming. It's like an urgency almost, with that Knight of Wands being about how, like the king, not Knight of Wands, it's King of Wands, that King of Wands being about the king that like it's the warrior king, the king that has overcome battles. You have overcome balance. Yes, balance. Like there's something. I'm having trouble. Let me just like sit and try to catch this, because let me get a couple more cards. I want to see what's going on here. You have a lot of energy around you. There's a lot of energy with like input, which I think is odd. Because you don't seem to be aware of anything other than like life is frustrating and difficult. With that 8 of Cups and that 5 of Pentacles and that Knight of Wands. But let me just look at this, because there's a combination of things coming through here. Law of attraction. There's somebody here that is very attracted to you, but I don't know if it's, yeah, universal compassion. I want to say that it's not for the reason that, let me see this Lovers card. Let me get a clarification on the Lovers. 10 of Swords and 8 of Pentacles. Something that you put 8 of Pentacles worth of work in, and then it died a horrible, painful death. And it's something that took a lot of your time, like a hole with the 6th house. That took, like, it was like a job that you worked, and with the 10th house being responsibility and success, something that cost you a lot of success, really. So with Crown and Laughter here, with the Ace of Cups, though, with the 5 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Sun, and the 7th house. So there is a love story here. And with Crown and Laughter, that's interesting. Like, I'm going to look at the bottom. Aries. We've got Aries over here as well. So, and the Emperor is often like the Aries card also. So, Knight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So you don't expect this. You're gonna get there's an offer of love. I don't think, for some reason, like when I was pulling that Law of Attraction, I got this feeling of like, it doesn't feel romantic. It feels like, I don't know how to better, like siblings or something, like if or family kind of love, or best friend, or like it didn't have that kind of feeling. So when I pulled Universal Compassion, there's something that you both have experienced where you both can see each other in each other, basically. Like you both, like this person has a level of compassion towards you because they've had some similar experience, or they have some sense of what your experience has been. The competition, with the Ace of Cups being about this cup of love from the universe that is for you, this is the universe being like, you earned it. Like, you know, I'm seeing a cool vision. How would I even articulate that? It's like a weird, let me sit for a second to see if I can get it. Yeah, it's like if there were a Judgment Day, if Judgment Day were such a thing, then like you would get an award, like opposite of, and that's a kind of weird thing, but basically it's like whatever opposite of judgment is, accolade, I guess. So with that 5 of Wands being, there's a competition here. Whatever this clarity is around your giftedness, that's what I think that Ace of Cups is, like your level of giftedness. And the 7th house of relating is like in relationship. I wonder why laughter's here. Because we've got competition with 7 of Wands, is what I'm staring at, the 7 of Wands, and I'm looking at the 5 of Wands at the same time, because we're seeing very similar images here. So there's some kind of like defensive, competitive energy around you. So there might be people around you that are kind of fighting about like whether your inherent goodness. And I even feel like somebody might be sticking up for you. So there's somebody who's defending your inherent goodness. No, there's that. I think it's this person. Sorry. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So there's this Emperor energy is defending whatever the work that they've done is. So this person's defending the work that they've done, but there's somebody else here defending you. Let's pull some cards out because there's something here about a relationship. So I want to see what this is. A lot of people, there's a lot of energy around you. So let me just see if I get, this wants to drive all over the road. Like this wants to take me all over the place. So what I'm picking up on more than anything is there is an offer of love coming in, but it's hella confusing. So you're not expecting an offer from this person of any kind. You're looking like this Queen of Pentacles. Let me just before I launch into whatever this is some drama. I feel like this is like a whole, in fact, I'm going to move all this stuff over. You're attracting in a lot of attention. You have absolutely no idea how far along you have come with your progress. You haven't a clue because you've been this is all surviving. So this is you've been really busy surviving whatever the situation that you gave so much of yourself to. And little did you know, it's making you, this situation is really making you, it's putting you in this position of acclaim, and you don't even see it. What's interesting here is this side, because this side is there's a competition, there's some kind of energy here. Let's look at it. With Crown and Laughter, let's take a look at this whole section. I'm going to move this other section out of the way. Aries on the bottom of both of these astro decks just tells me that this is something that's happening actively. Action is being taken right now. There's fiery energy behind it with this Revolution and Uranus card. This is a breakthrough. There's something that's a breakthrough. All right, let's get more information. So I'm going to leave this out too. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And that Kiss card on the bottom of the deck, I was why is there so much energy around this? Because there is. So whatever it is, maybe it might be a romantic entanglement. I just don't feel that's the energy that this person is currently holding with this King of Wands energy. I think someone's fighting for you somehow. So let's take a look at what the heck that is. That's an interesting thing. That's something we want to know more about. Okay, so over here. Okay. And this over here. So someone's fighting with the Three of Pentacles. Someone's defending the work that they've done here. This Emperor energy is defending the work that they've done. And somebody else is defending your goodness. And there seems to be some kind of competition between these two points of view. And this comes in, this is a revolution around the 7th house of relating. Wow, you're awesome. I want to learn everything about you right now. Let's do it. And your destiny is all wrapped up in this too. Okay, let's take a look. So you're on the precipice of something really important in your life, something sort of pivotal. Let's shuffle some cards here. I want to see what's happening. And I'm being told to move this. It's a relating revolution. This person needs a revolution in relating this Emperor energy. Okay. Ooh, I'm feeling something feels awful right here. What the hell's that? Let's get into it. Yeah, so there's not just one person. So there's a number of people defending your goodness. And what's interesting is that those are people that know you. Somehow they know you really, really well. Whereas people that have these are both, I'll put it this way. There are factions of people that say that they know you that are defending you, and factions of people that say that they know you that are that aren't. Okay, let's find out a little bit more about that. Queen of Cups. So again, you know, we're looking at, I think you're the Queen of Cups. This is what it's sort of feeling like. Let me just see. Yeah, this is not feeling, I don't like the feeling of this. I'm gonna look at, I'll stick with this feeling until I get a sense of the frick I'm looking at. But I don't like what's happening here. But we'll stick with it until we have a sense of what it is. It's just that there's so much energy right now around you. I don't know what the heck is going on, but let's find out. Okay. That's looking good. That's boding. That bodes well. Boding well. That bodes well. Okay. Ooh. With the 3 of Cups. Pile number 2. Just when I thought we were gonna have a short reading. We've got drama on the board. Okay, it's all right. Don't fear it. It's tarot cards. You know, what we do here is we get a grip. That's basically what it is. All right, so the 2 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Tower. Give me more. I need more information on that. I mean, I like what's happening here in terms of the Queen of Cups, the Magician, and the Fool. Because it seems like that's going to be an easy thing. But over here, what is this? Dizzying energy. I need to ground myself a little bit. And that's too many. I'm going to need to do this again. So the 3 of Cups is actually, to me, especially with this, there's some fucking gossip going on about you. With the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords here, wow, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to find out in a second a little bit more, because there seems to be a lot of gossip about your value. So it's like the nature of your goodness, and then about your value is sort of like related to that. And this 2 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Tower card, finding balance around the truth with like what this means. 6 of Cups from the past, Ace of Pentacles, new path, Queen of Pentacles, established, 4 of Wands, completion. So I'm just getting, with the Chariot. So the Crown is speaking of royalty, which is an odd thing, and laughter is speaking of making it irrelevant, which is, again, like I can't figure that out, you know. So like a lot of what I'm getting for you, pile number 2, seems a little bit convoluted, but there's something about royalty being made irrelevant, like in relationship to like whatever it is that is this Ace of Swords truth that you are bringing in. So what you don't see coming is just how like established you secretly are unbeknownst to yourself. And I know that that's odd, but this is going to become something that like that reveals itself to you. So you've got the 2 of Pentacles coming out, I think twice here. Let me just make sure that okay, 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm going to tell you exactly what this is in a second. I just want to, all right. So I'm just sitting with this for 1 second. Like I want to make sure that I'm right. So I'm not going to jump right in. I'm just going to look for a minute. Okay, so with the 6 of Cups. Oh, hold on. I cannot believe this energy is so hard to get a hold of. Just give me 1 second, because I'm getting like a little bit nauseous and dizzy every time I try to look. So there might be some kind of a defense here against me looking, which is really strange. But basically what we're seeing here is like there seems to be some kind of argument around like this, around clarity around your goodness in relationship to others. And with this 2 of Pentacles, there's like a back and forth, you know, like one day it might be one, like it does seem to be somewhat contentious, like this back and forth, but there's truth coming in the way of a Tower. All right, and that does shift and change everything. So with the Six of Cups being about, this is from the past, the Ace of Pentacles being about an offer, the Queen of Pentacles, like, and it's something that can establish you, and it'll complete, it'll end, it'll be the finishing of a cycle, and there's something fair, you know, with the Four of Wands, there's like there's a stable quality to this. Nine of Wands in reverse, I'm happy to see, because that means like you can relieve yourself of the burden. It's almost like every single one of these wands is like somebody else's opinion. You can relieve yourself of the burden of other people's opinions. Just continue to work your way out of your hermitage. You are in a hermitage right now. That chariot card says we need to move you out of it. So like the more you stay silent, the more people project. And I think that for you, this is a little bit of advice coming in the way of like the royalty, making royalty irrelevant, because, and that's sort of like what it is for you to speak. That is just like what it is for you to like use your voice. There's some quality to you where I think that the reason why there's so much battle around like the Sun card's about clarity. I think that the reason why there's so much of a battle here is just because you're speaking some really powerful truths. And so the pushback is, well, that person's not telling the truth. You know what I mean? And so it's like this way in which like your truth it's confrontational enough to cause this kind of like back and forth. So like you staying quiet and staying hidden is just allowing for people to project. But the moment you open your mouth, then you come in with the truth. And so I think that's sort of where we see the shift over here on this side of things, is whoever is trying to sort of defend their work. This Revolution card really speaks to the experience that like they'll like, you know, shit, this is coming out really hard. Let's see if I can get it. Access to your emotional intelligence. This person thinks you're really manipulative. So whoever it is that's over here trying to defend their work thinks that you're really, really manipulative. Something to do with the way that you like your start. So you had a brand new beginning, and whatever went into that brand new beginning, this person has perceived as like so manipulative. Here's the thing about that though. With the Eight of Cups, you walked away, you made a judgment based on a truth that you saw, and that like they're the ones who caused their own false judgment about you. That's interesting. So this person walked away because of a judgment that they made. So they actually had some emotional investment in you. Oh, hold on. I have a, hey, excuse me 1 second. I just have to, Frankie, come over here. Don't you do that. You don't eat that. It's not food. There she is. Okay, sorry. I'm not in the room that I'm usually in. Usually I'm in a room that's a little bit more contained. Today, it's just so hot out. Like, I need to be in the air conditioner. Like, even though the air conditioner's on this very minute, I can put it on and it cools down and then I can sit in it. So if you hear like noises, that's what that is. This person thought that they came to some kind of a truth about you. And they walked away. But there was something faulty about it. I'm going to see what it is, because I'm curious. Now this thing you've got my attention. So the more you speak, the more you shed light on the truth about yourself. And whoever this is, why would they be defending their work? Let's take a look. Why would they be defending their work? I'm lonesome for you. I spent a lot of time alone with myself. Huh? Let's keep going on. They've overthought you. Oh, okay. So this person overthought the living crap out of you. They overthought you. They had a whole narrative about you. They had an imaginary version of you in their imaginary land about you, where the imaginary retreated to. You know, they had this whole, like, the way that they saw you was so different than how you actually ended up being, that they can't even like cross the bridge to like find you. And their misperception, because this is like a judgment that they had related to like why you were walking away. Why did you do this? Like, how come you do? And they were just wrong. They've just been wrong. And there's something here to like, you know, yeah, there's like some wrong. So they overthought you within an inch of their own ability, and now there's a desire to go back in time and change things and be different. I was impulsive. I lacked inner discipline. I tend to deal with consequences of being. Yeah. So this person has some kind of drama in their head about you. I feel abandoned by the world. They're really rigid. So this was something that had kind of a romantic energy. So what you don't see coming is there's something that had sort of like a kind of a weird conclusion. There's a lot of gossip, but you're moving away from that in a way that like makes a joke of it all. And so what Spirit wants to show you in the way of like where this leads, because I do want to see where this leads, because you're being told to like work on getting out of Hermit. Work on getting out of Hermit. There's partners coming up for you. Like there's a bunch of relationships, like that's why I saw like a bunch of energies around you. There's talk, there's energies around you. Your destiny is like, you're right on track for that. And the kind of like conflict that ambiguity about you sort of breeds, again, it's just in the absence of your words. And where this person is like heavily defending their work, yeah, there was a lot of sacrifice and there was a lot of love between these two people. But there's also like a huge, there's the costs of whatever it would have been with no, right? So why is this coming back around for you? I want to, there is something to do with your destiny, but I want to see what this is all about in terms of why it's coming back around. Like, because there is this outcome of, I want an outcome. I don't have a good outcome. There's this outcome of movement. Movement where? Movement where? Seven of Swords, deception. Two of Wands, planning. The Sun. Oh, like they're like, oh, I'm gonna out you. And where does that lead? Because they're misperceiving the whole thing. And they have like these three little factoids that they've been clinging on to, even though there's a completely different backstory than the one they've been telling. So that's really weird. Okay, so let's just see what this, yeah, so the Seven of Swords is like, you know, and this Two of Swords is like planning to sort of like reveal you. And what are we having here with the Sun? Get some, you know, this person's like, I'll get the clarity with the Sun card here. Like, you're fighting over whether or not there's clarity. I'll get the clarity. And what does that lead to? Some kind of movement, but Knight of Swords, taking action on Four of Wands, completion, and a new, oh yeah, so this, you know, really this only leads to you being this Queen of Wands. So like, they're like, oh, I'm going to figure this out myself. I'm going to, you know, out this, it just leads to you being outed as like, true. Ace of Wands, like that's this ontological shock thing. I think it came out in the last pile, but I'm seeing that card in my head now. So what you're not expecting is like a level of like vindication and celebration around whatever this like frenzy of gossip that you have stirred up ends up being like, oh no, clarity on you. And like, oh yeah, so like all of this energy. So what you don't realize is like you've been like really like having to deal with like a lack of this the kiss is like lack of emotional intimacy, you know, lack of like that kind of connection. And a lot of it had to do with like this frenzy of energy that you stirred up around you, and not speaking in a way that people necessarily understood, or they didn't want to hear you, whatever it ended up being. Clarity, I think that this is like, there's got to be some rollover from pile number one, because I'm sort of feeling that. But at the same time, like, you know, the specifics here, no one's getting close to you. So what you don't see coming is that there's going to be people getting close to you. Like like you've been sort of shell-shocked for a while. Like you've just really, really shell-shocked for a really long time. And this star position that you were in, where that whole moon, you know, and like really not knowing, how boss you really are is like sort of where we started with this. And then, and like how much farther along you're so much farther along. It's almost like you have been in control this whole time, but it's like been but you've totally unconscious about it. Because I'm seeing again, like there's like this naive quality, and there's this, it's oblivion. Honestly, it feels like oblivion. So you're like oblivious. All this other stuff is going on. There's this buildup and this buildup and this buildup. And then there's like some level of investigation. And then like, you're right, you know? And I think that that's why you go from like Five of Pentacles to laughing in the face of like, you know, whatever constraints might have been placed against you or whatever outcasting may have happened. You know, there's an extreme shift here. So what you don't see coming is anything that anyone's ever said against you or about you to hurt you is about to blow up in their face with a fervor. And there's a lot more behind your back around like this stuff than you realize. And you're just kind of like trying to heal, you know, you're doing your own thing. But whoever this, you know, this sort of like little stirring of this pot, everyone in this pile seems to know that like, I'll be honest with you, the thing that you don't expect that's right around the corner is that the credibility war is going to lead to you having a level of credibility that is like unimpeachable, which is why the only thing that Spirit really wants you to do is work on getting out of this hermiting energy. That's it. Because I'm hearing unimpeachable again. So, and what's kept you from intimacy does seem to be a lot of gossip. And that's clearing up. You have someone in your corner, and I'm gonna look at that in 1 second because I just want to, why not ask who's in your corner? Who's in your corner? Who's sticking up for you here? So there's your higher self. That's actually something to that's something to contend with. There's something there. You're sticking up for yourself. Every single time you open your mouth, you're sticking up for yourself. I think that's what you don't realize. I think that's why the moon and the emperor, every single time you open your mouth, you're sticking up for yourself. You don't even realize it. The World card, the Temperance card, the Queen of Cups again. Wait, this is the Ace of Cups, the King of Cups. Oh, yeah. So you have a younger energy that has been like, not even a younger, this is a methodical, almost like a dry perspective, kind of cynical energy. Not cynical in like a downer way, cynical and like a looks at everything and like very carefully sort of tries to figure out what they're looking at. A sober-minded kind of a person. There's someone from a far distance that's paying close attention to you. There's someone that you know really close that you have a history with here, that sees you very, the way that you operate around this person says a lot to everybody else about who you are, for better or for worse. The Queen of Cups energy, this is someone who's very emotionally intelligent, who kind of just like sees things clearly, and we got a King of Cups as well. So people who are emotionally intelligent are like, yep, I see what you see. And that's all the defense you really need. And so pile number 2, you're going places. There's action being taken that is going to give you better like access. Like there seems to have been just like a lot of mud, but Spirit is almost saying, what's that? It's like a standard. There had been enough like mudslinging that finally there was this tipping point where the truth is being yeah, like it's almost like it's like pushing into this like, oh, I'm going to find out for sure about, you know, what this person, you know, is saying about themselves, if it's true or not. And then it ends up being fine. And so that's what you don't see, is that there's even this friction going on. I don't even think you even, Spirit is saying like, no, you don't really know. You know and you don't, you know? Sometimes you wonder and kind of brush it off. And then other times you get like these very intense intuitive hits either way. I'm just trying to get a better, let me give me 1 second. I want to see if I can get just a little bit more here, because I feel, I'll honestly tell you the truth, like this feels sort of like a repeat of the energy that we saw in pile number 1, just a little bit. I'm just like kind of hunting for differences, because it seems like there's bleed over. I'll be honest, it's almost like whatever was going on with pile number 1, it hits almost like and I felt this in pile number 1. I was talking to pile number 1 and I'm like, this feels like it's about to hit a fever pitch. Go to pile number 2, and pile number 2 I think is about there being like a fever pitch of like dissonance about who you are, what you have to offer, like whether or not you're a good person or a manipulative person, and it all really leads to like enough of a thorough investigation that you come out smelling like roses and looking really teachable, at which point this opens doors for you. Okay. And whatever someone keeps saying about like creepy feeling or vibe, like again, what is that? It's just their defense mechanisms. Let me just see. Someone wants to judge you. It's like their favorite thing to do in the whole day. But luck is on your side. A time to give rather than take, and expect powerful change. Communication is key. This is what I mean. There's like all this talking and this gossip and blah, 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 and really put you in a place where you were, you know, actively treated badly. That's just whipping itself all around. And it's a frenzy of people around you that are involved in whatever this like reveal of like, no, you're amazing is. And that's what you don't see coming, is that, you know, what had been sort of maybe like a long series of like social injustices, like there's some kind of like coherence around how it all just leads to people have wanted to project on you. Like they've actively wanted to have a story that made sense of you because you don't make a ton of sense. You know, that's the thing. So, you know, what Spirit is saying is the communication is key. Spirit, the universe is on your side. You're authentic, you know, and a time to give rather than take really speaks of just continue opening your mouth and speaking and presenting yourself. Because that's the powerful change that's what's bringing in the powerful change for you around you being able to sort of like that kiss. Again, I keep on seeing it as being like people that will like willing to get close to you. I think that you may have struggled a little bit. There may have been this feeling of people not willing to get close to you because of levels of innuendo that upon close inspection turn to nothing. And that's really like this moment that you're in, is that you've sort of walked away from everyone like, I guess I don't care. Meanwhile, there's all this close inspection going on, you know, behind your back kind of, you know, and what it amounts to is vindication. So that's like that's sort of the message here. And with the synergy, divine masculine and emergence and integration, and this, yeah. So like there's this notion with, for you, there will be powerful change here, and it's going to unfamiliar, new, exciting concoctions that give birth to a new reality. With this divine masculine energy being under a time to give rather than take, this really speaks to me to tell you that, again, what's bringing forth this powerful change and this emergence for you every single time you open your mouth. You know, every single time, you know, people can have like, you know, theories upon theories upon theories upon theories upon theories about you because there's sport in it. There's a level of sport in it. There's also, like people get agitated around different concepts, and you confront, you know, your life, your choices, like you kind of confront sensibilities. And so when we see this divine masculine as being like, no, just confront people with your humanity. How dare they try to strip you of humanity based on stories in their own head without your representation or your input? Like this is coming through like almost like a defense proceeding. So maybe there's something to that for you. So, you know, the more you just speak out in your own capacity for yourself in your own way, like with your own strength, that's it. That's the only defense that you'll ever need, is to just express and to not hide, which is why the hermit thing is a little bit of like, you know, the more you put yourself out there, even when it seems like no one's paying attention or no one listens or no one cares or, you know, whatever, there's still something to be said for you. Speak honestly. That's it. That's all that's needed. And so this integration though, the time that you're being given right now, you know, you're still in this place where the people are having their like, you know, theories, ideas, like, you know, whatever. There's a lot going on with that. Communication is key. So for you with this integration though, like, you know, the Spirit is saying like, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing like good, you know what I mean? Like continue to integrate positivity, because that's what you're having a hard time with right now. You're not in balance because I want to say that you've been bullied really, really, really badly. You made for a really easy target on the tail end of a bad situation that required a scapegoat, like required some kind of a scapegoat. And it's almost like you just volunteered. You volunteered to be the scapegoat. You didn't volunteer to be a scapegoat because you wanted to be the scapegoat. But the moment that you were in, the truths that you were telling, the way that you were trying to sort of emerge from the situation that you were in, because I'm seeing this as being all connected, it became very, very convoluted under a certain lens, and that's the lens that has always been the problem, and that lens is based on the wrong ideas about a certain conversation. And we're going to see this clear up. Yeah, this person was very attracted to you, and you caused them to cry themselves to sleep like a number of times, and Spirit is like, they are wrong, have been wrong about their assumptions about the central, like I'm seeing something like, I wish I could get that term right, inciting incident. That person is wrong about the inciting incident, and everything else beyond that is like a tower built faulty. It needs to fall. So the tower moment around you is everybody else. You're fine. Everybody else so the thing you don't expect coming is that you're giving everyone a tower moment where they really see that like they've been like horrible bullies towards you. And so, yeah, Spirit is saying, be open-minded, you know, open your heart, because you're about to enter into a period of delight in your life that you haven't had joy or delight in so long. You've forgotten even what like a deep belly laugh sounds like. I don't think that you've had a laugh that's been like all the way to the bottom for a really long time. And so Spirit is saying, you know, like, again, you heal, you integrate, continue to integrate positive experiences, being brave, like, you know, speaking your truth, having agency. This is a process for you, but ultimately, like, you've been doing the work of defending yourself all along by doing no defending of yourself whatsoever. And that's kind of a beautiful thing, because it's like the defense is happening for you. So pile number 2, that's what's going on. Some good stuff. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Pile number 3, for those of you that chose Venom, I'm gonna go ahead and speed up your shuffle. Okay, pile number 3. So what you don't see coming with the Venom card is something valuable from the garbage heap. How do I put this exactly? Let me just pick this up and move this card over. So we got, with pile number 1 and 2, there was enough of a strain of bleed over, I guess is the way that I would put it, like a little bit of pile number 1 sort of and sort of interacting with pile number 2. So it was like enough of an interaction that I like didn't proceed. And so today is a whole different day. Like I'm sitting down like the next day from having done pile 1 and 2, and there's still some kind of a I still kind of feel a little bit of a string. So for some of you, and I knew that because when I first pulled this out, there was that bottom of the deck energy. For some of you that are coming from pile number 1 and pile number 2, whatever garbage, so I guess the best way to put this is the way that Spirit is showing me. So if you had been like the subject of some really heinous, horrible gossip that made you look like as villainous as the day is long, and then there's some sort of like twist, you know, and it turns out that the whole time you were like secretly a saint, like that's sort of what I'm seeing here, is like, to the degree that you have been sort of maligned, or that there have been a negative experience or a negative poison, you know, that you've had to sort of endure and move through, and the right word is endure. There's something valuable, sort of like that. It's in the process. So to the extent that you've been maligned, how much more of a point are you going to be making with the story of your life when it turns out that that was always wrong all along, kind of a thing? So it's this way in which, like, to the extent that people have been hard on you, when they learn the truth, like, therein lies like double the impact. And so when I see the Hierophant, the Devil, and the Eight of Pentacles and the King of Cups, I'm seeing something that that had a tremendous amount of power over you, that you put a lot of work into, that left you with a wealth of emotional like intelligence, but also disconnected. This King of Wands energy at the bottom of the deck, again, this is a victory. This is a warrior king. This is a king who has like has been successful and victorious in all of the wars. And the Knight of Pentacles shows me that whatever it is that you're not seeing coming, it's something that took a very long time with that Knight of Pentacles to get to you. Because you got the Knight of Pentacles twice at the end, positioned sort of at the end. So like whatever this was took an eternity to sort of materialize into. So this is looking and feeling a lot like a dream or a hope or a goal that was like, that died for you, that was like laid for like that was laid to rest, that was laid waste. Something that was laid waste, that you put 8 of Pentacles worth of work into, that left you in a King of Cups position, but I'm seeing the traditional King of Cups image, which is, you know, there's a level of isolation here. And so with the Page of Swords being about a message, the Sun being about clarity, the Three of Cups being about celebration, the Fool being about a new beginning, and the Knight of Pentacles being about something that you've waited a very long time that's something that poisoned your whole experience life, in some ways your heart. Oh yeah, Spirit is saying it's a hope delayed makes the heart sick. So this poison of hope delayed that makes the heart sick, it speaks to the pacing would be like enough to make your heart sick. That's how slow that this has been. And I think that a lot of this you've sort of already kind of let go of. But in Neptune, this 8 of Pentacles would have been a tremendous amount of sacrifice that just has caused confusion. Again, there's been poison to your life and your experience, that venom. There's something valuable that's going to come up of the flip side, right? In the 9th house, it's in a big way, partners. Affecting your relationships. Okay, so there's a lot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this over here. Like, I'm almost overwhelmed with your reading. I wanted to see who is around you, and there's a pile, an actual pile. So the King of Cups feeling very much alone to me. The Moon being about confusion, right? So there's like, so with the Moon card here, these cards I use for people, you know, to represent like the people in your life, the externals. This isn't characteristics or aspects of anything within you necessarily. This is all, I use this deck as the people deck. And with the Moon card being about like, there's still a lot of confusion, a big question mark around who you are. And again, I think that there's this relationship between like this venom, this, I see tarred and feathered, maligned, like very intense. Yeah, like this is one of these, like, it's the worst news ever, but the good news is, like, it's so weird. Whatever you went through, nothing will be wasted. You will get to speak back to everything. I'm getting Christ vibes. Like that's sort of having the last word in the most profound way, almost, you know, to a certain extent. So with the people that are around you, I'm going to look at this. We're going to look at this very closely, because I think that this is what this Three of Cups is. This is what this messenger. All right, let's take a look. So we have this Page of Swords, the person who is bringing you this message. So somebody's around you that's going to bring you the message. And since we don't know who that is yet, I'm going to look at that after I sort of pull these out. You've got a Queen of Wands energy around you. You have the World energy. I'm going to tell you each and every one of these a little specifically in a second. The Hanged Man, the Temperance card, King of Cups, the Sun, and the Tower. So this Moon card speaks to this notion that says there's a lot of ambiguity about you, a lot of question about you. When we look at the cards, there's a message coming through that's going to make things clear. It's a cause for celebration, a new beginning for you, and you've been waiting forever for this. where this has been really, really difficult is the amount of sacrifice that has gotten you to, like, this payoff is what you don't expect. The amount of sacrifice that went into something paying off from this is so unbelievably, the scope is so wide and large, that it has affected your ability to create relationships. But to the extent that this has been horrible, the reveal, right? So like there's this false narrative and there it is, right? But then the reveal about what's the true narrative, like the compensation that has to happen, you're going to cause ontological shock in people's lives, you know, when they encounter you or encounter your story, because there's such a big distance between like what was painted and what is reality. And it's an interesting distance too. It's not even just big. It's like there's some profound relationship to like persecution and then like revelation and then like what truly is, and like how that is I'm seeing a dance, like that is the movement. I'm seeing a sheet of music and I'm hearing the movement. I don't know exactly what that means, but there's something about the impact and the message that you have to offer requires this kind of maneuvering or this sort of movement somehow. So there's the messenger, and I'll see who that is in a second. There's the world. So this Queen of Wands energy that is around you. This is a creative energy. There's somebody who you're really inspiring right now. So with the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, this bottom of deck is talking about like you finally winning. You know what I mean? Like this is the king who has finally won the battle, who has won all of the battles, but like those battles were no joke. This is a card though that is speaking of like somebody that is extremely inspired by you, inspired by your strength, and inspired by your magnetism. The World card is somebody who is at a great distance. This is somebody from, I'm hearing that phrase, I think I heard it in pile number 1 or pile number 2. Something about your name being spoken in rooms that you're not in. And one of those rooms is a great distance away. And we'll get more on these people. The hanged man is stands for somebody who was stood convicted of something in one way or another. So it's somebody in your life who's been convicted of something, and that conviction can show up in any sort of ways. Like it could be like literally, you know, with the Hierophant card being about institutions. It could also be someone who's just sort of like pushed into a position where there's no choice but for them to have to live a life that is the result of other people's judgments on them, right? So there's someone like that in your vicinity as well. With the Temperance card, you have a lot of angelic assistance. This card really, so we're sort of starting to get into your spirit team over here too. Someone from a distance, somebody who was inspired by you, somebody who in one way or another is held in place by like either a story or a circumstance. So you've got a lot of angelic assistance around you. With this King of Cups, your higher self is active in participating with you. And what does this King of Cups higher self mean? We talk about our higher selves all the time. And I love to bring this up because this is one of my favorite things to do to help myself help myself. You exist beyond all time. And time space is a position that you're in right now. But like the greater, how do I explain this? People like to think that, I have to slow down and see if I can get this right, because I would love to share this if I could just find the right language for it. Spirit is kind of showing me, wait, I'm getting off track. I gotta get back here. Oh, your higher self. So a lot of times we can feel really lost in like who to believe, like what to believe, what to place our faith in. And if you come from any number of situations, like organized religion that was really oppressive, you have a spiritual background, and the best that you can, you know, sort of get, like you're only sort of able to you're able to interact with the unseen just enough to know that it's chaotic, but not enough to like understand like what that means, right? And so there's like, that can put you in kind of a situation. There's a lot of ways in which we can feel really overwhelmed by spirituality and not really know who to turn to or where to find that like place of authority. And a really good way for you to always know that you're talking to the right person. There is a version of you in existence right now, beyond time space, that has lived that is the incarnation that you are right now, that has already lived your life and learned all of the lessons. That is an energy that exists. That is an energy that you can call into attention. So sometimes when I am dealing with like a particularly tricky spiritual situation where I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Shadows or mirrors. Like there's a lot of, well, magic is a whole thing to learn about, but you can, especially when you're at a point where you're like, I don't trust anything anymore, say, I call out to the energy that exists beyond time, that was me, that has already lived my life, to come help me now and be with me now as I try to move forward, and to enlighten me and to show me what it is I need to know about this place and this time and this moment, and to help me. So like that's a really good prayer, and that's a really good person to have close, and that's a person that you have close right now. Your higher self is really close to you. This venom was designed to like ruin you, make you absolutely, I'm hearing the word ineffectual, to render you useless. So it's a big deal. This thing that you don't see coming in the way of an opportunity to, I hear the word speak, and I see the King of Wands with the sun, right? So there's also an energy around you that is very clear and very like capable and able to see the situation around you, who you are, whatever it is that is being discussed, like in total and complete clarity. And then you have a person who's represented by the Tower. I want to look at this person who's represented by the Tower right now. I'm going to just take a minute with that and see what I can get. Who is this person represented by the Tower? Somebody who, who is that? Let me look. Let's find out. Show me more about the energy of this Tower. Show me more about the energy of this person represented by the Tower. If you feel misunderstood by, you know, just like in life generally speaking, there's somebody who's kind of an expert on you, in your energy. And again, so this is like spiritual energy. The 11th house, the edge, friendship, roots. It's an ancestor. Okay, expansion. Revolution. So you're here to, if you were born in this time, in this space, you have to know that your ancestors planned heavily as to like who you would end up being and how you, what experience that they would get from the experience of operating and seeing through your experience. So we're all created. There's a bigger sort of oversoul kind of thing that goes on, and you're created for revolution. You're actually created to withstand the impact of revolution. That's sort of like what your DNA sort of amounts to. And this is a revolution that you're actively participating in. So you've got a tremendous, you are the messenger. I'm hearing you are the messenger. So you have a tremendous team with you. And this Tower energy is an ancestor from a time and space that's similar to the one that you're in. So somebody that would have been around before the last ancient apocalypse, I guess, is like, so, you know, it's like the wheel turns and, you know, we're about to go into a new era. So somebody who was at the last turn of the wheel when the era was going from one to another. So this is a very old energy. It can feel a little bit destructive. There's a destructive aspect to this energy. But this is when we end up in like the realm of like non-duality, where like when something is this old and this powerful, like it's not good or bad, it's just what are you? And so that's kind of what this is. And with the edge being the 11th house, rebellion, revolution, here to help you make this change. And this is really interesting because I'm seeing that this is an energy that has a lot of love for you. I'm seeing these this flame, and it's two different energies. So it has a lot of love for you. Actually, you knew this person briefly this life. This is interesting. So I'm being shown by your guides that this person is someone you knew briefly in life, who is a part of your soul lineage, ancient, absolutely ancient, and is helping you weather the hardest, most destructive parts. So it's almost like for you to have any sort of authority in being the messenger, you know, having a very powerful narrative. Messengers, messiahs, same thing. There's not just one messiah, there are many. Everyone's a messiah. We all carry a message for the world that has a capacity to save in one way or another. We just do. That doesn't mean we have savory complexes. It means that everyone's life story carries a message that has the capacity to save or help save someone else's life story, even if it's just, and definitely if it's just your life story has the capacity to save your life. So like so it's not just your life, it's others. So everyone has some aspect of this messiah quality. Everyone does, every single person, but you have something very profound here with this, because whatever your messiah message is that has a capacity to bring change of a saving sort of variety, it's revolution, rebellion, it's a breakthrough. And so this energy is here and was here to help you sustain the impact of this. And you've already had to sustain the impact of it. The impact has already like hit at its apex. Now we're dealing with like some aftershocks from that. But this roots tells me that this is someone from your soul lineage, that you knew briefly in this life, whether it was somebody who passed when you were young, or if someone passed that you knew just for a brief time and it seemed like it was so really impactful, but you didn't understand why. This person's one of your main spirit guides, and he's here to help with your personal expansion. And it's also an energy that does not let you get stuck, does not let you fail on your mission. So I'm hearing a round of applause from your other spirit guides, and I want you to give a round of applause to this spirit guide who represents this very intense energy for being the energy that has loved you and kept you on mission, and sustained all of the punches that you were sustaining while you sustained them. There's a brilliant, beautiful bond there, and where they were in your life shortly for a short period of time, it was just long enough to give you an encounter that would help you access them physically on some level. So if you're, for some reason in meditation, there's something critical about you being able to access a physical connection with them. So that's something really profound. And so you have an incredible spirit team here. And I mean, I like spend a lot of time going like through each and every one of them, but right here are the people who are actually around you. Somebody very inspired by you, somebody at a great distance, and somebody who's stuck in place. So give me one moment. I want to get us a little bit on each of those energies, a little bit more on each of those energies, because I think where this story is going, and I'm going to let it go there, even though this is taking a little bit of a while, is what you don't expect. So I'm just going to get a little bit more on each one of these people, because it's leading us to like the circumstance that you don't expect. These are all characters somehow tied into that. That's why they're there. So let's just take a look. Tell me more about the circumstance around this Queen of Wands. Tell me more about the circumstance around this Queen of Wands energy. Two of Swords, Six of Wands, Two of Cups. Okay. Tell me more about this world energy. Who is this person at a distance? Or international or foreign. They don't necessarily have to be at a physical distance. Like the world card with this person in general is there's a foreign characteristic, a distance sort of like foreign. Yeah, foreign is the word. Either they're foreign and they're far away, or they're far enough away from your worldview to be a different worldview. Or they might just be from somewhere that's far away. So let's just see who's this world. But I actually see this as being a physical distance. If we were on a one-on-one, I'd be like, no, physical distance. Okay, but there's more than one of you. So there's lots of, there's parallel dimensions. All right, so let's take a look. Not just dimensions, but different. I wish I had a PowerPoint. Not a PowerPoint, but like a whiteboard. Like I always want to stop in the middle of readings and just draw pictures for everybody, so I can kind of, some of the visuals that come through, I'm like, whoa, I'm not a very good artist, so I don't know that I'd be able to. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming back towards you in a minute. But whoever this person at a distance is, it's somebody who was once around. They're coming. This is a returning, somebody who is, returning from another time. King of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Four of Cups. You don't even know this person watches you. This person has been watching your journey. They're very interested in the way that you build your, I would say platform, but it actually just like your position in life. Like they're fascinated by your independence. And they see you as occupying a certain status too. I'm just looking at this energy. No, they occupy a certain status. So this person at a distance, they're at a distance. They occupy a certain status. They have been, you have not seen them. I'm seeing this person as being just behind the scenes, like very much loves you. Actually, this person has a lot of love for you, but and you're like over here, like this is your experience, the day that you're having, the week that you're having, longer than that, right? And then this person's been sort of just leering through the windows, you know, kind of watching you journey towards independence in one way or another. So that's a description related to that person. I don't know why I didn't. Oh yeah, okay. I just launched right into this. This person, this World card, I just launched into this. There's something central about this person. There's something central about them in relationship to you, and why all of their observation and watching you and the distance that you've traveled and there's something very critical there. I'll take a look at it in 1 second because I launched in without even realizing that I was like in the middle of a shuffle. so there's something to be, we're gonna look at what in a second, but I just want to see who this Hanged Man person is real fast, because I was just pulling. I didn't even start to read. I got pulled right into the channel relating to that. We're going to get more information on that in a second, and I'm going to let this go as long as it wants to go. The Lovers, Death. All right, someone you would have been in a relationship with that you left, and the Tower is indicative of this thing that's about to happen is going to impact all three of you somehow. That's what I'm seeing. This person who is incredibly inspired by you in this Queen of Wands position, you don't know this either. You're not even like, as far as you're concerned, there's nothing here. There's no direction here. Like, what is this? But with the Two of Cups and the Six of Wands, like there's so much victory. They're able to see you so clearly. There's something really powerful about that. In fact, the energy that is the Sun energy in your spirit team is also a member of their spirit team, and very much there's something about recognition here. So helping you and this person manage whatever the sun, the clarity, the recognition is, but you don't know about this person either. So you might be feeling just like in the dumps, you know, like I live in the land of poisoned venom, you know, or like that horrible situation that poisoned my life has left me here, and that's just the way that it is. Right around the corner though, with this Tower card, you know, the thing that is coming in is actually, I feel it to be a positive trauma. What does that mean? When the Tower hits, when something hits the Tower, even if you win the lottery, there's still a traumatic element. If your life is going from like 0 to 100 in like 6 months, it's traumatic. Even if it's the best trauma possible, like even if it's like win the lottery, go on an amazing vacation, like meet the love of your life, get engaged, like have a wedding, like even if it's just nothing but the best possible, you're still going to be crying, sobbing in the bathroom at a certain point, because the body can only do so much change. And so this is sort of what I'm feeling like with this. Is the reason I pull these people out, and the reason why we're looking so closely with your spirit team, is because this has a tremendous impact, and these people are involved in whatever that impact is. So somebody that you are just, you do not see that there's a door being opened here or available here, or that this is a road or a route with this person. You're not there with that. You just don't see it for whatever reason. But you do have victory in this. This is a partnership, maybe? Yeah, you have victory with this partnership. There's a victorious quality, but some kind of a road is closed at the moment with that. Again, we went into whoever this was. This Hanged Man is somebody that you were in, I would say this is a relationship, somebody that you were in a youngish or immature relationship with, that you walked away from, that you've had this transformation, but that transformation has left you somewhat alone. So let's look at this Tower and see what the circumstances around the three individuals and how it's going to affect each of you in relationship to each other, because it brings a revolution. It brings yeah, you've got the Tower twice. This has that level of impact. Spirit is telling me that this has a level of impact that is dizzying, which is what felt sort of dizzy doing this part of the reading, actually. So it's dizzying. So what is the circumstances around this Tower? Spirit, show me clearly. What is the circumstances around this Tower? What are the circumstances around this Tower? What are the circumstances around this Tower? Okay. Lies. And I'm hearing that song. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. I don't really know what it is. Okay. With the Eight of Wands, there's a lot of communication going on. So this is what I was feeling. There's a lot of interference. Okay. You can't... let's get this right. The good news that I'm seeing here, and now I really do see that there is a strain or a thread between all three piles. All three piles may not be for everybody, but for somebody they all are. Because I tried to like wash it away. I was trying to like, and it wouldn't. So there's somebody here like, this is related to like the narrative that is a false narrative. Now, when I talk about spell work, people always think like, oh my gosh, you know, like demons and devils, and it's prayer. Spell work is just prayer. It's any kind of communication with the divine where you're trying to interact with the divine in a way that will push the needle towards a certain outcome. Are you taking control and forcing that outcome? Usually that's a bad idea. I wouldn't do it. That means when someone tries to do the kind of magic that is outcome determinate, like determines a specific outcome, it's not a good use of magic. You want to leave everything like really porous and loose. Like I could do a whole lecture on that. But basically you're talking about a spell work. Spell work is it's a type of prayer where you're interacting with the divine for a certain kind of outcome in one way or another, and you have to do it in a very wise way. I like to think of prayer and spell work as being like, that should be about 90% of what you do with spell work should be prayer, like similar to prayer, communicating with the divine, just communicating, that's it. You know, not having any kind of determining sort of agendas, just communication. But the reason I bring that up is because what I'm looking at here with the Seven of Swords, the most comprehensive, effective, damaging, world-destroying spell work and magic is narrative magic. It's lies. What is a lie? It's an illusion that is thrown up about somebody or something or a situation that has the power to deceive people away from being able to see the picture clearly. It's a convincing lie, and in this case it's a convincing narrative that is false. So that's what I'm getting like very strongly from that Seven of Swords card. With the Eight of Wands, everything that could possibly interfere with this truth coming out, every form of interference, because we're seeing a revolution and we're also seeing rebellion, right? Because we're seeing revolution and we're also seeing rebellion, and we're seeing the Tower twice. This is no small lie. And I want to say that you came in to destroy this, that your life has been very mission oriented from the very, very beginning. And so, you know, with the Moon card being, you know, people don't really always see you clearly. What you don't see coming and what they don't see coming, and the impact for everyone is, I'm hearing like seismic shift away from a prevailing narrative that is false. This truth, this Ace of Wands, that's funny. It's coming up as an Ace of Swords in my mind, like the way it feels, but it's an Ace of Wands. So there's something really powerful about this truth that you are carrying. The Empress is generally pregnant, so it's something that you are carrying with you, that you have carried with you, meaning that it's yet to be made into, like, I'm seeing a referendum of some kind. What does that even mean? I don't know. But with the Ace of Cups being about, this is your gift of love from the divine. That you have gone through this experience of the venom. The venom meaning, you know, so what is this, like, diamond in an otherwise I'm seeing like pressurized coal, like what this horrible venom that you are being lifted out of, that you are pulling yourself out of, that you've gone through the valley of, I'm seeing you as like leaving a cave. This is the moon or something. It's like something is being revealed with the light of day, and in that revelation, like you are removed from what was designed to swallow you whole. Like, sounds very intense, and it is. But to the extent that when we started this reading for you, it was like the proportion of the lie is just how powerful and impactful the truth ends up being. So to the degree that people lied about you, or you were sort of like defamed or held, you know, in a bad story, the truth of that actual story is the impact is going to be twice as big as it would normally be if it were just a truth that came along, because of what lie hid that truth for so long. And so you are carrying this incredible passionate, this is like a passionate beginning. It's coming in like a worldview. You consider yourself blessed. Yeah, so Spirit's saying like you are the one who is blessed to bring through this message. You are being honored and blessed. Like that's really powerful. So what you don't see coming with the moon here is just how much your journey is actually leading someplace. How much you making meaning like transfers into a message that has the capacity to change an actual worldview. That it's rebellion and revolution. It's wild. That seems such a big, like that seems so huge. I want to ask Spirit for just a little bit more, because, you know, while we don't have that much time, yeah, let me just get some confirmation on this Tower. Let me see this process around the truth being revealed with this Ace of Cups and this Ace of Wands, because it's so inspiring. Like when this happens, it inspires like a whole new concept of love. Like it's really wild. Eight of Wands also speaks to the amount of communication that's happening around you right now. You might feel sort of like sick a little bit. And I don't mean like physically ill sick. I mean like you might feel like, I'm going to see if like I can feel it. So let me just like feel what this feeling is. Shaky, unsteady. Your energy right now, you might be like, why do I feel like a turtle without my shell? Like, what's that about? You might feel really vulnerable, like really exposed, but like not know why, because you're just in the supermarket or like filling your car up with gas. Like it's an out of place feeling of exposure because you're not exposing yourself. So you're like, I don't know why I feel like this naked on stage nightmare feeling. I'm just trying to check out at the grocery store. Like there's something about like you just sort of taking the dog for a walk, or just taking yourself for a walk and being like, why do I feel this way? It's because there's a lot of communication going on about you. And I just want to see the process around this Tower before we close. Because you're having this massive expansion yourself, but this expansion entails the it's tremendous healing for everyone. So what does that mean? And if you're ever tempted to be like, oh, this message, you know, I'm not that important. This message is too, like, fancy, you know, like, I can't. The Spirit is saying, like, if you know, you know. When you know, you know. Like, when you have whatever that is, when you're carrying this kind of message, the weight of what it means to be carrying that message will be with you always. Like, there, you know, you'll always know that you're part of a collective that carries the weight of a very important message, and that there is a bigness to this. And I'm not gonna, I feel it, I'm like right here. With this Queen of Cups, the Five of Swords, the King of Swords. I just want to see this process. Oof. Okay. This venom situation left you out in the cold in like every single way. Left you carrying something really precious in the way of a message that nobody wanted to hear. It's kind of harsh, you know. Made you feel like you were of no value. So that's what these Eight of Wands energies have been about. Like, how can we tackle this person with this precious message? there is spiritual opposition. It exists. Like duality is something that we want to work our way out of using as a lens that we see the world through. But there are terrible, evil, no good things. And so when you think about like a power structure that is oppressive, you have to understand that there are spiritual that there's a spiritual aspect to an oppressive structure, and that there are spiritual entities and energies that uphold that oppressive structure. Since you're carrying a message that brings the tower to that oppressive structure, and you've always carried the potential to bring this message forth since you were little, you have been targeted in one way or another by energies that don't like the disruption that you bring with the message that you are, basically. And so that you have been walking around feeling worthless, that you do feel worthless, that your self-worth is like the thing that needs the most healing and the most work right now in a big way. And you know that because you're coming up against things in your life right now that are calling you to like look at the fact that you have self-worth issues a little bit. Even if you're like, even if you have like, I'm seeing someone who like shines like the sun, someone who, even if you have the most magnetic, gorgeous energy and you sparkle through a room and like everything out of your mouth is like perfect, whatever. It doesn't matter like how like amazing you actually are or how amazing you're often perceived. Like you have been kept from the secret that you are worth what you're worth, which is why you might be questioning whether this reading is for you. Am I really like that? Am I really worth anything? I don't know. Well, there's been why do you feel this way? Like what is your life telling you? What is every lesson that your life has given you showing you? If it all leads to like that you're not worth anything, then you have to ask yourself the question, like, all of these like spiritual experiences and like this tremendous amount of like this is hard to explain, but if you flip a coin 1,000 times and it always comes up on heads, like you're seeing a pattern. And so, this is taking your self-worth from a pattern of opposition that says if you weren't worth something, you wouldn't have faced this much calculated opposition. It just doesn't make sense. And so Spirit is saying your worth is going to be revealed to you. That's part of what this life mission is all about for you in particular. But to the extent that the mission has always been like very big and overwhelming, this Queen of Wands strength card, that's you, and this is how you're coming across. And this is the last word. This is you sort of having that last word. This is you having the strength to get to the end of the battles, to the point where you've just won those battles, with that Queen of Wands energy. And there's also this tremendous inspiration that you bring through the victory that you're having, that you will have. That's what you don't see coming. Because life might be like, oh, it's just all these failures. No, there's some real victory here. Queen of Cups, Five of Swords, King of Swords. That's, again, we're fighting with a heartless narrative. So you're bringing all this heart to a fight with a heartless narrative. And with the Three of Wands, again, this is something that's coming back from the past. You're showing up as 10 of Pentacles here, so there's tremendous worth. It is a worthy endeavor. Your journey has been worth the pain in some ways. It might not feel that way, but as we see, this opportunity for you to stand in your power, to take what you've accumulated in the way of like all kinds of wealth. I'm talking about ancestral wealth here. And by ancestral wealth, I don't mean like dollars and cents. I mean like the giftedness, like your ancestors put you together for the turning of the error so that they could experience life through your perspective. And you have all of the pieces of that ancestry to break the generational curses, to like be in this action adventure movie of a time and place and in history. And that your heart is broken is what we're dealing with in the way of like, there's a big distance between you experiencing yourself as the strong Queen of Wands that you're going to be seen, I think, and experienced as, because the heartbreak is so severe. So, I mean, there has been all this interference. What do you not see coming? This huge twist. Let's get some word cards before we close out. The Tower. Okay, so the process around this Tower is you bringing your heart to a fight that has no heart, and something from the past coming back, revealing your value and your worth. I think that's what this whole like false narrative being defeated, the truth is revealed. When the truth is revealed, the impact is so much more than it would have been had the narrative that you were trapped under not been so false. That your heartbreak, and so you're a tearjerker. Your message is kind of a tearjerker because the impact, it has an impact at a heart level, and a powerful impact at a heart level. And that's why it's revolution. And that is why, man, I like your higher self. I like your soul. Your soul really knew the way to bring a message was through the heart, through the heart space, which has meant that your heart space has been the one thing that has, yeah. You feel like you don't have the strength for this. You're exhausted. That's okay. That makes sense. You've been sort of like swimming in this venom for a really long time, and you can't see the situation 100% clearly. And so the fact that you can't, like, you're like, oh, this sounds really great, but like, I barely have strength to like get through the day. So thanks. That's okay. That's because you've been swimming in the venom. This is what you don't see coming. That's why this reading is like, you don't see it coming. You don't see it coming. There's a change in the way that you are perceived that sheds light on a situation that everybody had viewed a certain way, that comes with it like a revolution in the way that people are able to see from that point on. Yeah, you know, you might have felt like that no one cares about you. That might be one of the songs, you know, sometimes we get stuck in these. When I say that, like, you know, one of the most powerful spells that there is a lie. It is. That is the most powerful spell. The most diabolical spell work anyone can ever do is lying. It's the most effective, you know, way of bending reality to someone's favor, you know, whether it be for like attention or significance. You know, whenever somebody's lying about you, they're doing horrible spell work, and they're casting a really gnarly spell because it affects the way that you interact with reality when people have a false perception of you because of a false reality that somebody else has kind of coaxed, you know, into being one way or another, or it's been delivered. I mean, I don't really know what the story is, but yeah, I'm hearing the word persecution. I'm trying to like listen for it a little bit. But you might have this song in your head, like, nobody cares about me, like, I'm not important, I don't even exist, I live like a ghost in my own life, I just haunted. But you're absolutely precious. And the amount of harmony that you bring to the world by the work that you've done on yourself is... I feel dizzy. Like, I feel physically dizzy right now. Yeah, you can't see this future at all. Like, you can't even, like this is, you're like, nah, it's not for me. And so, you know, some of this is like wait and watch. And, you know, as I say that, there's a deck behind me that I'm going to use. Yeah, you're perfect. You've done nothing wrong. There are people who are jealous of you. I think that that's sort of why you have some of the self-worth issues that you have come from that. And so I think that, you know, part of what's going to happen here, well, Spirit is saying, here's what it is too. So the false narrative that had been sort of projected on you, that was like a curse that was over your life that you couldn't break because there was just, I don't know. Spirit is basically saying that there were a lot of people, because of what you have in the way of giftedness, you know, you're carrying this message. When you're carrying a message of this magnitude, people can feel it. You kind of shift the center of gravity in the room when you enter it. This combination of like the false narrative over you and the level of like blessings and beauty that you have means that like everyone who sucks, every single person who really, really, really sucks, whose propensity or their tendency towards others is around competition and positioning and jealousy, everyone who sucks would have found it like delicious, like so good, like yummy, like a bowl of ice cream to have your name in their mouth talking crap, right? So anybody who suffers from jealousy and uses that jealousy to like put bad spell work in the way of lies about a person would have been all over this. So you really are this walking litmus test. And Spirit says, like, you should know, for every single person who had like a delicious, you know, happy meal of like talking crap about you because they just wanted to. They wanted to, like, even before they found out a story about you, they looked at you and they were like, ooh, that person has, you know, this kind of a quality that I don't have. I already like want to hurt them. I already want to level them. So the world of levelers, people who like need to like bring everyone below them or on level with them to exist, or they can't be in the same room, would have made such a show out of talking badly about you, spreading false narratives about you, because they thought they could get away with it. Like that nothing was ever going to come of your story. Like nothing was ever going to come of anything that you had to say. You had all these qualities, and then you had this horrible, like, you know, shadow, this venom. Like, bad people are going to be shown with you like as bad. And And again, I don't mean good and bad people. I mean the people who took the time to hurt you are going to be humiliated at the end of this. Absolutely humiliated. I'm not like a vengeance person. I don't believe in it. I think it's like ineffectual and it's a joke. But Spirit is telling me that to the extent that you have had really, really horrible things happen to you, you've had people target you in really awful ways, people who thought that you were really valuable and really weak so that they could exploit you, use you, malign you, level you, whoever, it's going to really blow up in their face. And what they had sort of recklessly done, like, you know, that's, yeah. So vengeance is yours. Pile number 3. You know, the venom that was meant to be like your pool of pain to be, yeah, Spirit's saying like buried alive in, is going to become, when people actually know the truth about you, you're close. Anyone who spoke badly about you is going to feel shunned, quite literally. And they're going to have to cope with that. And they're going to have to think about what it meant for you to operate from that space, in the pain that you were in. And they're going to think they're going to have to think twice about how just delicious it was to speculate about you in cruel ways and to hurt your, to put that, like they added to the spell work. You already had bad spell work. Okay, now I can pile on. That's not going to work out for you. Speaking to somebody, I don't know who that is though, like, so I'm seeing this channel. Yeah, I'm not a vengeance person. So this is really interesting. Your dreams need a practical plan. Communication is key, and prosperity lies ahead. In the bottom of the deck, we have it's time to release negativity. So just like at that moment, because I was like, you know, I'm in this channel and I'm responding to this bevy of information, and I'm like looking at someone, I'm like, that's not going to work out for you. That's not going to work out for you. There's someone here who's really, really been over the top with this. Whoever it was is going to like get hit with this 1000% badly. But it's time to release that negativity. Why? Because that's just their life. You know what I mean? Like the beauty with you is that this doesn't really matter. You know, whatever the fallout for people hurting you is, it doesn't even matter. It's not touching you now. It's not gonna touch you later. You're operating from a different place. You do need a practical plan. When this, I'm hearing things are speeding up. So if you've been used to like swimming around in this sort of venom, and the only thing you can do is keep your head above water, and you can't do much beyond keeping your head above water, what your dreams need a practical plan is, knowing that right around the corner is like the great reveal, is like a total turn of events, is like a twist, you know, and like everything that you've been dealing with and poison to your life is suddenly there's this clarity, there's this, I'm seeing something emerge. You need to be prepared for that, because the reason that tower came up as being so traumatic, and it felt traumatic, is because this has caused you to be in hiding. It's caused you to put yourself in hiding. It's caused you to limit the amount of stimulation, like that you have, mental stimulation, interaction stimulation. There's not been a lot of mirroring with you. You don't have a real sense of yourself in the world. There's a lot. So like because you're having a radical change here, you know, as you find that this truth comes out, and it doesn't seem to be that way, because that 7 of Swords, like this really, you know, the spell is broken. This is going to cause like a tsunami of positive things, because the Empress, the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Cups, I'm being told to like pull these out. You know, this is you being so creative and having such a, you know, this message having a fertility to it, and being inspiring, and like, and being something where you're bringing so much love in the world with this shift. That's a really important. There has been this false communication. There's about to be this true communication, and the result is prosperity. But prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself for a shift in worldview. Release all the negativity. Anybody who's been making you miserable or hurt you or behind your back had like a heyday with like your downfall or what they perceived as it. Let the goddess deal with them. and in a way that is not vengeful, you know, like I love wishing revelation on people, because punishment doesn't do a damn thing. It's useless. All people feel as much pain as they possibly can. Everybody's pain is most important to them because they're the ones who have to weather it. And the lens that they put on themselves is, you know, very rarely, you know, will someone do something that's like gleefully cruel and be able to like stand there and say, you know, maybe I shouldn't have done that. You know, I was having a great lunch and it was funny. You know what I mean? Like, because again, like people they don't think that deep, you know, often that happens, and that's okay. You know, there's times when you don't think that deep. There's probably been times when you've said really cruel things to people who were really vulnerable without realizing that they were really vulnerable or that it was that cruel because you didn't know their story for real. We do this all the time. So this is where the forgiveness comes in, and this is the letting negativity go, because this reveal, this, you know, the truth that you're coming in with that does like happen with this communication and the prosperity that comes with that. These people that have done this are going to have to, they're going to be given the opportunity to change, because it's going to hit in a way where they can't just brush it off and be like, well, whatever, you know, we're all in hard knock life. Like they're going to have to be like, wow, you know, that was a mistake and I shouldn't have done that. So when you give someone an opportunity to see a mistake that they've made and you have this way of bringing a story that's going to have this kind of impact, that it actually like impacts them, where others look at them and say, wow, you know, like you really put yourself on a podium, on a platform, you know, preaching the gospel of this person is bad and now look at you. Rather than let that make you angry, or like let that occupy any space in your head, know that the blessing here is that these people are going to have the opportunity to have to face this so that they can heal and turn away and change the way that they are and become different. And so, you know, what you don't see coming is justice. I'm surprised that the justice card didn't come out with this pile. It came out with all the other piles. Yeah, that's interesting. Unless it came out and I just buried it there. I read cards. I don't think a lot of people read cards the mess that I read them. But if you think about playing an instrument, since my psychic senses, I've got a lot of them, but some of them are really close to my hands. Very powerful in my hands. I touch things and I'm like, whoa. You know, sometimes like I'll shake someone's hand and be like literally like lose the world around me. Like I have problems with my hands almost. Not totally problems, but like there's, you know, there's something really powerful about that for me personally. So I use all these cards because it's like reading Braille. I'm reading energies. There's a lot of different energies coming through, you know. So that's why I pile them up like this. I'm not reading the cards the way that most people read them. It's not disrespectful the way that I'm reading them. I'm literally just reading them like you would read Braille with your fingers, feeling like I'm feeling them. So that's how I do it. 7 of Wands, defense. The Star, the Truth, the 7 of Swords. Yeah, this is about the truth coming out. So the question of justice and justice, I would look at pile number 1 and pile number 2. You are being elevated with that star, healing, elevation. There's a defense happening of the truth. And it's there is triumph, and this is very quick. This is coming in very quickly with whatever this venom, whatever these lies that were the spell that has been cast over your life. Yep. You know, with this Aries energy at the bottom of the deck, being about your tenacity, you know, life may have like tossed you on the ground and you're like, I'm never getting up again. This is life. It's too much. But every single time you got back up and you healed, which is what you did. And every single time you got back up and you healed and you found a way to speak and you found your voice somehow, you healing over and over and over again, you're crispy clean. And crispy clean is like a weird thing. Crispy might mean someone to somebody. There might be something about that. Crispy clean, crispy cream. You're so sweet. You're delicious. I don't know what that channel meant, but like what I was saying is your karma is clean, sugary. I don't know what that, but your karma is absolutely pristine. Your guides are saying the only thing that you're getting back in the way of karma is going to be sweetness after everything that you've been through. And so your guides are being so lovely in that respect. There's a reward coming in for you. I don't ever see stuff like this, but you are going to be called to a place of forgiveness, because it does you absolutely no good to be mad at anybody who, and it's coming through as if I took your name in vain, you know, and that's not putting you on some kind of like godly pedestal, but whoever took your situation as an opportunity to have a lot of exciting, salacious conversations where they did nothing but Yeah, this is interesting. So, you know, we're coming back to the beginning of this reading, confront people with your humanity. When people could not see themselves in you and they could only draw attention to all of the that separates you from them, and that all that makes them better and you worse. They showed how inhumane they are. And that's going to be a revelation to them as well. They're going to learn how inhumane they are as well. And so with this universal forgiveness being like, there's just no reason for you to hold on to any negativity related to how people may have treated you. They're going to get it. All right, file number 3, that is your message. I hope that that was helpful. That was kind of a lot. It was an hour of stuff. So I hope that you were able to get everything that you needed out of this. And there is change coming. For everybody whose pile is the bottom of the deck, get ready for the truth to set you free. All right, so I'll see you guys again later. I hope this was helpful. Such an honor to read for you.